and welcome to a brand new E-Extra where it's sizzling with the hottest gist, news and buzz. Out there is an irresistible atmosphere and it's my job to give you the heads up. I'm your host Tola, and joining me on the show today is our own very Afrobeat king, Femi Kuti. Sir, it's beautiful, it's overwhelming, it's breathtaking to have you on the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for welcoming us into the shrine.
You're welcome.
I'd like to start by saying that I love your combination of blue. It is totally mind-blowing, almost blowing me away. Now, speaking about the shrine, sir, a shrine would normally depict something sacred.
The shrine for us here, it is sacred. It's a place where we worship our ancestors, like my father, his grandmother, Martin Luther King, great African leaders who have done so much for the emancipation of Africa. So it is a sacred place. It's a place where we worship through music. We don't kill animals or we don't spill blood because we are worshiping our ancestors. Okay. Now we have to understand, even if Africans did do this in the past, it is because it was an era of development in our culture or our religion, our way of life. So for me, the shrine is a sacred place, but this is the way we pay tribute to great people who have sacrificed their lives, their time. Mandela, for instance, how can you weigh? How do you respect a man who has done so much for Africa?
True.
So we have a place where we have their pictures, and we want people to be humble and appreciate these great people when you come onto these premises.
True. So, despite these controversies and criticisms about the shrine and its culture and tradition, it seems to me, and I think a lot of people are aware, of the fact that the Afrobeat genre itself has become widely accepted through the advent of Broadway shows. Of course, your father was the forerunner or forefront of this sort of dance and music and all that. What is your perception on the revolution, the widely accepted nature of Afrobeat right now?
You have numerous of them in France, Sweden, Australia, everywhere, Japan. Everybody's trying to play Afrobeat. The outside world is preserving Femi Kuti. He's on Broadway. So it takes Broadway to tell us that Fela is still alive. And because he goes on Broadway, then Nigeria now says, oh, no, he's Nigerian. Hey, they want to claim. Many people now get annoyed that, oh, the Broadway show is too Hollywood style. What did you do in Nigeria
when
to preserve Fela? Did you do a play of your own? Did you try to preserve the legacy? If my sister and I did not think ahead and preserve the shrine, and we are every day of our lives is Fela, left to the Nigerian government, Fela should be dead and buried, because the masses must not remember this man that gave them a voice. And whether we like it or not, Fela was a lone voice in Nigeria in the 70s. So this is what the outside world will say, wow, what kind of man is this? This is what the generation of young people in Nigeria now say, this is our man. So the younger generation, much younger than me, and the older generation keep wanting, they never met Fela. They don't know Fela. How come they are so pro Fela? But because his spirit was so dynamic and truthful, he will always live in the minds of our children, our grandchildren, because his works are alive. So whether the elite of Nigeria don't want to respect this truthfulness or not, it's something that will outlive them themselves.
True.
So that is why.
I like the way you talk about your father. I wasn't here in the 70s, definitely, but I did come to meet his music and appreciate it as well. And the outlook, it does, appear that your father, definitely influenced your becoming an Afrobeat musician. Is this correct for me?
No doubt.
No doubt.
This was the music we grew up with, and the basis of my musical career is my father. I've never run away from that fact.
Okay, well, would you say you have any other mentors besides your father? Because looking at you, you are very much like your father, sir. You're a very radical, open person. You speak your mind. And, looking at the country, it's hard to place a finger on it. Could there be any other persons in the country that inspires Femi? Yes, in Nigeria, sir.
No, not in Nigeria.
Wow.
But in the outside world, definitely. Because when my father took me out of school, he made me read books. So I was reading books like Black Man of the Nile, Stolen Legacy, How Europe Underdeveloped Africa. I was reading books on Mandela, Kwame Nkrumah, Malcolm X. These were the books he forced me to read. Because when he withdrew me, I thought I was just going to have fun. And he now says, no, you have come out of school. Oh yeah, start reading these books. Wow. So it was like I left my school and Kalakuta became a university. Anytime he traveled to like a place like Chicago, there was this great African library. I would go and buy as many books as possible. Then he introduced me to jazz. I became a fanatic of jazz. I started to listen to Miles Davis, John Coltrane, Dizzy Gillespie, Charlie Parker. As a musician, a young person, when you start to listen to this music, you reach the crossroad of your life where you are going to now decide, do I want to proceed or will I hands down now? Because when you see what Dizzy Gillespie is doing with the trumpet, and you are a trumpeter, you will like say, I will never do this. So you have to decide, do you want to continue? Can you find your voice in this good chaos of music? Can you bring out your own principle kind of music? From political side, people like Mandela, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Lumumba. I could not understand why these people knew they were going to die and they never compromised.
True.
So I admired them. The courage of my father, I could not understand how he could still, the soldiers would come and arrest him and he would shout, shoot me, shoot me, goddamn, shoot me. I could not figure out where he got his bravery from. So these were the things that inspired me. And then from the music world, anybody from the jazz world really.
It's still E Extra. We will now take a peep at the buzz and events. Don't go away. Way back in the early 80s and 90s, radio was not a big thing. I mean, they were big, like big radios, but it wasn't a big thing with music and entertainment gist. It was a lot more about news and what the government was embarking on. Dry, innit? Like really dry. If folks wanted good music, they had to go to the clubs. You know, you had to come out of your car and drive all the way to the club to get good music, and depended on the old school DJs and their turntables, which were even older school. Well, thank God for the 21st century where you can now have a great party in your house with the best songs playing from the radio. Isn't that great? Interesting stories that keep you glued to your seat all day and even kick off the boredom when you're in serious traffic, such that you don't even want the traffic to move because the songs are banging. Today, several radio stations put up a tight competition, and one station that has made its mark in society today is the Beat FM, popularly known as the heartbeat beat of Lagos. It's the second year anniversary party of the Beat FM 99.9, and we're coming to you live on the red carpet from Lama Village, Oniru. And just in case you're wondering what's happening, well, it's the Beat FM second year anniversary. I'm your girl Tola, and I'm going to be hooking you up with all the buzz and gist is going to be going down here.
Today is a very manic day. It's the Beat 99 day, and we've had so many people, so many fantastic artists, comedians and entertainers, and we're giving away so much as well.
Okay, one thing I like about Beat FM is the fact that they know how to keep it energetic. You know, you listen to them and you're hyped up. They give you that buzz, that energy.
It's a fantastic station. Whoever worked on the branding of this station did a very good job.
Every station is good. Beat FM is also good. Right? You go tell me say what differentiates Beat FM from any other station. You want me to be saying that the other station all they play my song at the battle you. Everybody is good. Huh.
Well, we are always trying to feel the pulse of our listeners and excite them in new and different ways. So we're constantly coming up with new ideas to refresh and excite.
Yeah, and that's what radio station is supposed to do. You listen to them, and apart from the fact that you get inspired by the presenters, what they say, you also get a lot of boosts.
Hi, my name is Femi Olatero, like Biggie, on-air personality at the Beat 99.9 FM. And today is 99 day, and as you can see, it's a day of fun.
And it's really to basically appreciate our listeners that have been faithful to us for the last, I don't know how many years.
I'm losing it already. I can't keep my tones together. I'm going incoherent just standing next to Deji. Deji, how did you put this together?
You can't really credit only me for putting it together. There's a whole team that put it together, really. So I can't take the credit for all of them, in fairness.
Standing next to me is a beautiful, luscious looking lady, Fade.
Yes, Fade representing the Beat 99.9 FM. I've got the weekend show called the Liquid Lounge and also the Sunday Request Show. We have the best girls, the best guys, and everybody really gels together, and it's just a good vibe. It's very vibrant. I love the company. It's a cool place to work.
Beat FM, happy birthday. That is all I can say. I wish you many happy returns.
Happy birthday, the Beat 99.9 FM, the heartbeat of Lagos, the best radio station in Nigeria.
Many happy returns. So far, so good.
The sky is the limit. We're going to have so many things planned for you guys. This is just the beginning. I mean, we've only been around for about 3 years and we're still climaxing, so you guys should just stay tuned. I'm not going to give away any secrets, but 2012 definitely is going to be a bigger and better year than 2011.
Welcome back. I still have with me the strong and enthusiastic Femi Kuti. Okay, so now let's talk about Africa a bit.
Yes.
In recent times, it's been glaring that our art, our music, our fashion seems to be replicating itself around the world. It looks like Africa is actually becoming a global force. Because coming from an era where even Nigerians didn't want to associate with their culture, I think it's a big change. It's a big step forward. What would you say is responsible for the revolution?
This is what all these great people saw, that Africa should be the envy of the world. So if Africa is coming up with all this talent, it's of no surprise to people like me. It is long overdue. It is not even tapped enough.
I concur.
Most important, let's look at the football, for instance, the easiest topic we can find. In the 70s, you could not dream that any African will ever play in the Premiership.
Exactly.
In this century, Africans are dominating the Premiership. They are dominating clubs in France. If Bolt is winning 100 meters, you want to tell me that Nigeria cannot produce runners that can win 100 meters? If we groom our young boys, Bolt is an African.
True.
And we have known that Africans have dominated the sprints from day one. Black Americans, Jamaicans, name them. We have dominated the sprints. Long jump. These are areas that if we had good government in Africa, Africa should go and win all the sprints. And even swimming itself, we should win, because when you see river states, we should be good swimmers. So these are areas where they should tap into from primary level. Encourage our young people. Let them be versatile. Let them understand the world, global politics, global activities. Encourage our people to go in this positive direction. Given the opportunity, the African will excel beyond reasonable doubt.
I also think that maybe we as Africans don't have enough motivation, which brings me to another question. You've recounted severally in different stories and interviews that you never went to school. You still were able to pick up the courage to learn and teach yourself. I mean, how did you do this in spite of all the odds? How did you bring yourself to learn and become this successful at this stage?
I always had a good family to fall back on in very difficult times, and I've been through serious difficult times. Sometimes you go to town because you are a last child, the elite don't want to know you, you can't have a girlfriend, you can't you come back that which kind of burden of a name that because we are Fela's children, we could not see Fela's wrongness because he smokes Igbo, but we know that most of their fathers are smoking Igbo. Even the children are smoking Igbo, and they are criticizing us for the Igbo. No. So with this, we became a very tight family, and we stood by ourselves. There is hardly anything you could say to me or my sister that will divide us. Even if we fight, we will know that you are my sister, you are my brother, and we'll defend ourselves to our death. So this is from my mother's side. We became very, very close, and my mother and her mother made sure we could have this inner strength. So from all this, I knew that if my father worked for 1 hour, I'll have to work 10 hours. Now till today, I try to do a minimum of 6, 8, 12 hours every day. I said to teach myself the trumpet because in 2000, we got in the studio and the trumpeters in my band refused to play. So I had to hire other musicians to play the trumpet part, and they were just being stubborn for some reason and arrogant because they thought after bang 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 I was making millions of euros, and I was trying to make them see this is not the case. I'm not a crook. They refused. So I said, because you can play trumpet, I can't play. Okay, so I said to teach myself the trumpet. That's self-determination. These are the things, because probably I didn't go to school. I can just say, okay, I'm going to do this. And if it means I die doing it, I'm ready to die just to break and achieve that goal. I said to teach myself the piano. So even if at times I'm like, this thing I will never learn it to, my sister might just come, you better not give up now. Everybody's watching you.
True.
So I will just, it's low though, I mustn't give it up. I will start again. So between us, we can help each other, and that is how I've managed.
Okay, so from what you said, how many instruments do you play in all? Because you
Right
mentioned
now,
the piano.
professionally, 3. But I played with my father's, when I was studying under my father, I played the percussions. I mean, that's so easy. Every African can play percussions. Then I said to learn the drum beats. It was from playing his own drum beats, I could develop my own style of drum playing. So that is why Europe will say, okay, Fela did create Afrobeat, but Femi took it a step further, because I studied every pattern, all his drum patterns, everyone to do to all my father's. I went studied. I not just studied. I made sure I could play all those drum patterns personally myself. And from knowing and understanding how he created Afrobeat, the Afrobeat drum pattern, I could move it to suit my own spirit, so to say.